Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by Chinook Seedery. This is episode 545. I don't care. I don't care.
Casey,
don't even ask me. Don't even ask.
I mean this.
No, you
in the
don't.
Most genuine
you
way.
don't. You don't.
How are we?
You don't. You couldn't be more sarcastic. Hold on. I'm responding to the Red Sox on Twitter right now, telling them to shut up. Stand by.
They put out a tweet?
Yeah, they put out like this forever a champion bull crap.
Too soon.
Shut up.
Too soon to be posting stuff like that.
Shut up, you chumps. I have no time for this. Unbelievable. You're asking how I'm doing. All right, so here's the rub. Per Michael Scott. We just got off like a 3-hour how to keep score tutorial. Sunday Night Baseball. It's our second time doing it. I think it was 7 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
We're on there giving people a rundown like, hey, this is you fill out your lineups and everything. We're giving people a rundown. 7 minutes, I think it was. We get this. Somebody in the chat goes, Devers to the Giants? And I'm like, is this like a fantasy proposal? I'm like, I don't, is the person in your league team name the Giants? I don't know what you're talking about. And then more people kept popping in. Devers to the Giants? Yo, is this real? And then you're like, what? And then you're like, no, just got the official notification. This is real. And I still have no idea what anybody's talking about. So I pull up Twitter real fast and I see the Passons tweeting about it. I see the Robert Murray, I think was the official tweet that broke the news. And then we had to do a 3-hour live stream, telling people how to keep book, which was great, by the way. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
It was a good time.
Don't regret it. It was a great time. But I had no chance really to process what had happened.
No.
The fact that the face of the... the face... Call space spade. Face of the franchise traded to the Giants for no disrespect, but sort of disrespect. Slop. Comparatively, in return, slop. Holy. You traded away Rafael Devers in the midst of one of his best offensive seasons of his career, if not his best season in his career. No, see, look, in the chat, I knew this was going to be a response. A message needed to be sent. It was sent. Look, if you're the Red Sox, how petty can you be? Like, it was very clear, like very clearly outside of the Boston media who just continued to try to stoke the fire, who wouldn't let this thing die out. I think most reasonable, sensible Red Sox fans had kind of moved on, like water under the bridge, myself included. I'm like, this wasn't a great look for Rafy. This wasn't a great look for the team either. Just not a great look for anybody involved. But you know what? We're turning the page. Like last episode, we joked, hit Trevor Story with the credit cannon. Which, by the way, I have an official statement on that, which I was going to share tonight. But
might have to push it.
I'm pushing that. But anyway. Hit Trevor Story with the credit cannon last episode. Then they proceed to sweep the division-leading Yankees, your arch-rival Yankees, at home in, somewhat convincing fashion, considering the state of the team like a month ago. And then Sunday Night Baseball rolls around. You're like, let's break the news. Shipping Rafy to the team you're about to watch for the next 3 hours. Like, it was water under the bridge Was it, and we talked about this on the stream. Was this just a situation where you were just waiting until a season turned around to where you could really maximize his value? Be like, no, like this isn't the norm. Like Rafy's back to being Rafy, so let's talk trade. Because if that's the case, I mean, from a business point of view, I get it. But if that's the case, you should be getting a heck of a lot more back in return.
Yeah.
You trade. We got nobody left. Nobody left. He was the last guy. He was the last guy on that 18 World Series team. Okay, again, in the chat, if you have a player that you can't plug into your needs of the team, then you remove the cancer. He's literally doing the role that you have moved him to as it is. So like I was sort of like against Rafy there for a while initially when he sort of bucked heads about moving to DH. But then he's like, okay, I'm the DH now, and then proceeds to be one of the best hitters in baseball outside of like Aaron Judge and maybe like a couple other names, has been demolishing the baseball. And then we have nobody left. It was, well, we can't keep Mookie, Xander, and Devers, but we can keep two. You ship Mookie, we'll see ya. Now we're really going to lock in on Xander and Devers. Xander, thanks for your service, buddy. Go get your bag in San Diego because we're not going to pay you. We're not even paying you half of that. Now we really zero in on Devers. This is our guy. You pay them the extension. Hey, thanks for your service, Rafy. Pack your bags. You're going to San Francisco. What are we doing? The back and forth of the up, the down, the positive, the negative. We finally, Red Sox fans clamored and like just clamoring to bring up the trio. We finally get the full trio in Meyer, Campbell, and Anthony. And we're like, okay, Trevor Story's back to being Trevor Story for the most part. Devers is mashing. I mean, he's on a little bit of a slide, but for all intents and purposes, back to mashing. Crochet is leading the way on the bump. Like things are looking pretty good right now.
That's where I'm at with like.
No, we're good.
I think that's where I'm at with like the timing. You know what I mean? Like I don't quite understand the timing. I don't understand how it was such a rocky start at the beginning of the season. It was so many headaches and so many conversations that had nothing to do with the overall team. It was very much surrounding, bringing Bregman in and then the Rafy Devers stuff. And it's like, you got past that. You finally like turned the corner and you started playing good baseball. You're on a 5-game winning streak. Like you have your rotation that's starting to show up. Like you're doing this without Bregman. I'm not understanding the timing. I'm not understanding what message are you trying to send? If there is a message that needs to be sent, I get that. Like, I'm not hopping camps on where we were. Like you and we agreed that like Rafy Devers should have gone about that whole situation better. The comments weren't great. The reluctance to moving position, like none of that was great.
The front office should have also handled it better as the front
100%.
Office.
Like it was a very weird thing. And you got to remember how late Bregman was brought on. Like we're already in spring training. You know what I mean? These guys are already starting to get going for the season. Like they're starting to settle into spring training. And then you make this change and it's like, you kind of put your cornerstone in a very difficult position. Did he handle it well? No. But you put the face of your franchise in a very weird spot. I'm just very lost with how they've operated. And why do you keep doing these trades?
That point exactly right there in the chat. Dan says, now with all of that money that San Francisco is eating, we have the opportunity to actually extend Bregman, invest some money into Meyer and Anthony while going after more starting pitching this all season. Dan, I appreciate the feedback, and I know it's well intentioned, but like this is what they did. I just explained. We got Mookie, Bogaerts, and Devers. We can't keep all three. I mean, we're the Boston Red Sox. We got a lot of money, but we don't have that much money. So Mookie, best of luck. But now's when we really zero in on Xander and Devers. Well, we take that back. We don't really don't want to pay for Bogaerts anymore. So see ya, buddy. And now we really zero in on Devers. We pay Devers, gone. So this whole like investing it I would believe it if you demonstrated that you would be able to invest in these players and actually keep them around and build a product instead of letting some like little petty disagreement that I'm reading now was at a point of being unsalvageable, a relationship that was unsalvageable. No, it just sounded like nobody wanted to be an adult. And I'm looking at Devers on that too. Like it just sounded like nobody wanted to be an adult. And that is, it starts to me with the front office. Like you gotta be better. And I know I've taken my shots at Devers over the last month or two, but like you got to have a little bit more transparency. And I understand that the Costas injury, the Bregman, like things happen, and sometimes you got to adjust on the fly. But don't you do this all the time as the Boston Red Sox? They did it with Tito Francona when he left town. They spit on you on the way out. They craft this narrative. They essentially control the Boston news market. John Henry, shout out John Henry. He can paint any picture he wants. He can paint any narrative he wants. That like, well, that like Devers just wasn't being a team player. And yeah, while maybe that's true, it would be different to me if that was the case and was underperforming in the new DH role that you've given him.
Right, sure.
But he was
struggling with it, if the team was struggling with it, yeah, I agree. So what are the chances? I mean, if you want to go like 0 out of 10, like 10 being like he wrote a note and put it on Cora's desk, like what are the chances he requested this?
If he did request it, I would have to guess that given the fact that he did receive the contract extension, that he probably didn't think there was a realistic chance that it would happen. But then the front office is like, well, we just got a couple things got to happen here. We got to wait till he gets out of this like 0 for 50 slump that he's in to start the season. And then we got to find a suitor. And seems as though both things happened and they pulled the trigger. But such a cowardly move. Such a cowardly move on behalf of Craig Breslow. Figure out a way, like be an adult, figure out a way to make it work for the face of your franchise, who's having a great season, by the way, and figure out a way to keep him around. Like be an adult. This is a fireable offense. And I know that maybe I'm like coming on a little strong right now because I'm like, now I'm just processing this as we're talking it out. But like legitimately a fireable offense. You know, they brought in Chaim Bloom to do the dirty work to get rid of Mookie. So I don't necessarily put that on him. But like this, who else do you have to look at? Who can you turn to? This is pathetic.
Before we hopped on, I threw on MLB Network. Just kind of see what was being talked about. And it was Matt Vasgersian and Chris Young. They were interviewing Jared Carrabis, but Matty V brought up a very interesting point. I wanted to see what you were thinking. He talked about how he's like, hey, look, like we've heard of young cores before in Boston. And he was referring to Benintendi, Jackie Bradley Jr. And was Mookie in that? I know like it was like the killer bees between Mookie and Bogaerts, but like who was the youngest out of that? I think it was those three. Right?
Sorry, you're saying I spaced out. I was reading the comments. I'm sorry.
Like who was like your last core that like everyone was like, hey, promising that this is like the future. And I know Benintendi and Jackie Bradley. I'm just who were the other
Killer Bees? I mean, Xander was obviously a part of that. Xander was the older brother to Rafael Devers.
Okay.
They were hoping that Xander would have stayed around long term. They weren't willing to give the contract that Padres obviously gave him.
My point more being around the younger guys and like the fact that everyone was told how good Benintendi and Jackie Bradley Jr. were going to be and what that meant to the franchise, right? And obviously, like, their overall success wasn't great. There were some rings in there, but like, I can't sit there and just say that like those were the guys that the reason behind it, right? Are you this in on this core? Are you like this sold? Are you comfortable sitting here as a Red Sox fan and saying like, I can fully look at Marcelo Meyer, Christian Campbell, and Roman Anthony and just be like, this is 100% the core future. I know that we're riding with this. 100% sit there with all three of those names and say, you're better off shipping Devers out.
No, that's it. It's both. It's yes, I'm 100% in on this core. I've even in just the early going, I've loved what I've seen. I know there's going to be a learning curve. I know there's going to be some struggles, maybe even some sophomore slumps when the time comes.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen right now, mature beyond their age, like without a doubt. And they're adjusting well. And I know, like I said, there's going to be a learning curve. The league's going to start to figure them out. But the talent is there, like without a doubt. But that doesn't mean that it's an either or situation. You figure out a way to keep Rafael Devers on your team as one of the best players in the league. You figure out the logjam elsewhere. Holy cow. Like I know
this was the solution to shopping Duran, by the way, because we were just talking about that a few weeks ago, and like those
I wouldn't be surprised if they traded Duran too. Like, hey, we could really use some more quadruple A pitching. Let's go see what we can find. Look, I know we say on here all the time, you know, like we're not owners, we're not front office officials. So like, what do we really know in comparison? Like they got stuff going on behind closed doors that we just don't know about. And that's true to an extent, but it's stuff like this where I'm like, the average baseball fan can look at this and tell you that this is not a good idea. I saw somebody, I don't know if it was on this stream or the last stream, where somebody said John Henry's only concerned about jersey sales. So it makes sense. If that's the case, you're not trading away Rafael Devers, because Rafael Devers is one of your top jersey sales, if not the top. So I don't from a financial point of view, I don't get it. And frankly, I don't think it was a financial issue. I don't think it was that contract extension. I think they were more than happy paying $300 plus for a DH. I really don't think that was the issue there. I think this was a situation where there was too many children in the room. And nobody could look at this and go, we cannot let hotheads prevail here. Like we have to come to terms with the fact that we have an opportunity in front of us where, granted, he might not be the leader that you want him to be, as like a vocal, hey, like get on my back kind of guy. Devers is just a, hey, pay me and I'll hit you homers. He's even said that. So he's definitely not a leader in that sense. But the talent, the skill set, undeniable. The core that we just talked about, Anthony Campbell, Meyer.
And it kind of felt like, and I know Bregman's not like officially there long term, and who knows if he ends up being there and gets extended, but like it kind of felt like that box was checked once Bregman came in. Like you have this veteran presence, you have this leader, you have this World Series champion. You know what I'm saying? Like
look at the leverage
that
he
part
has
was
now.
taken care of. Yeah. Like that was taken care of. And I don't know, dude. Like I'm very lost with the timing. Like you guys finally turned a corner and you're coming off of the best weekend, like a highlight weekend of your season so far. I don't understand what message does this send? Are we in now? Or are we kind of punting a little bit? Are we fully in this year, or are we just saying like, hey, you know what? Because like I'll be real, and I'm not joking when I say this. Like I don't mean disrespect towards Kyle Harrison and Jordan Hicks, but like
That right
Come
there shows
on.
you how insignificant this return is, because we haven't even gotten to the return. I haven't even mentioned the return yet.
Like, come on.
It's
Come
not
on.
like Rafi Devers got traded, but the Sox, like, let's talk about what they're getting back. We haven't even got to that. We're 20 minutes in, haven't even mentioned the
You
names
have
yet.
more question marks. Like, you have more question marks coming back. If you're talking about your outfield
Joke.
being like too cluttered, now your rotation is too cluttered. And it's not like you can look at a Kyle Harrison or a Jordan Hicks, who, by the way, ERA wise, Jordan Hicks has been rough. 9 starts so far this year, 6.47 ERA. He's given up 35 runs in 48 innings.
Didn't they move him back to the pen? Or am I crazy?
I guess.
I
Kyle
swear I
Harrison's
saw where they
the
moved him
same
back to
boat,
the
by
pen.
the way. He's given up 12 earned runs in 23 innings in 4 starts this year, who has also been in the bullpen. Like, I'm not talking about the Giants quite yet, but like, what I'm saying is, where are these moves getting you? These are middle of the road inning eater type guys right now, if that. So, like, do you completely move Jordan Hicks back to an end of the game type reliever and that,
doesn't matter.
higher leverage? Like, it still doesn't make sense. It still doesn't make sense.
He's not going to be here in 3 years. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And the people saying, well, it's to free up the books. It's to free up the books. Again, I would believe that if you demonstrated that you were willing and had the fortitude to extend a guy and actually keep him. Like, it took you long enough to extend a guy, and you finally did that in Devers.
Yeah.
And then you ship him out of town. So, like, this whole freeing up the books for what? To lighten up the checkbook for John Henry? I'm sick of it, man. Like, we say it all the time. Like, and we go back to this point all the time. But, like, if you're going to be an owner of a baseball team, I think the number one prerequisite for owning a baseball team should be actually caring about baseball and caring about the baseball team that you own. And if you're only interested in using it as a business asset, then hit the road. Like, let somebody else fill the slot. Because, like, hundreds of thousands, millions of people around the world, like, Major League Baseball has made it a point to make this a global game. Shout out Japan. They're doing their part. Millions of people around the world invest their time, their energy, their money into this product, and you only care about it as a business asset. Like, go ahead and say, like, oh, who really cares what John Henry thinks of Kyle's opinion? He doesn't, and that's the point. There's millions of other people like me that have the same exact reaction to this, and that's the point.
Here's the thing with this, by the way, is that if you look up value with these teams, and if you want to sit here and say that it's not like the Red Sox have Dodger money, the Dodgers are worth $6.8 billion. Red Sox are worth $4.8. They're third in baseball as far as value goes. So it's, yes, there's a little bit of a gap there, but like, they're the third most valuable team in baseball. I don't think we can just sit there and say like they don't know how to operate and they're not a small market team. You're talking about a team who's looking at doing, we haven't even talked about this, but the massive concepts of renovating around the park and adding stuff around the field that's being talked about and brought up right now. Like, this team has money. This team does not need to ship money out of town and clear books. Then even if Bregman is the truth, and even if Bregman is going to be a Red Sox for the rest of his career, which is fine.
He's not.
I don't know if we're gonna spend a ton of money there. That's all. Like, I don't know if we're gonna be seeing a $300 million contract being forked over for Bregman. I could see a 140, 150 this offseason. Like, I'm wondering the reasoning behind timing. I'm wondering like the message that this sends. Is there something else that like I don't know if we're seeing all of it. I just don't understand the return. None of it adds up. None of it adds up. And the Giants, I mean, if you want to get into the Giants, if you're tired about Sox talk, we can get into the Giants and what this does for them. But I think this is a straight. This to me makes up for missing in free agency over the last half a decade, whatever it's been, on massive free agents.
Oh, this is huge for the Giants. This is huge.
For 10 years, brother.
This is huge.
You got him for 10 years.
And like we talked about on the stream, you know, like I think a word that you and I both arrived at is this legitimizes the Giants, especially in a season right now. You know, granted they didn't pull out the win tonight on the stream that we were watching on Sunday Night Baseball against the Dodgers, but still like contending, a legitimate threat at this point in the year. And you just added one of the best hitters in baseball.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, more question marks because third base is not open in San Francisco. I know it's open like immediately because Matt Chapman's on the IL, but you're talking about sliding over to DH again. You're talking about kind of a little bit of a weird scenario with Wilmer Flores, who like has produced for them as of late. Do you move him to first? Again, not trying to throw shade, but like Dom Smith, we were talking about a little bit on the stream tonight. Like he's actually hitting pretty decently this year.
Don't sleep on Dom Smith, Red Sox legend Dom Smith.
But they cut Lamont Wade Jr. to kind of make that happen. So I don't think they can just turn around in a couple weeks and change things. But this is a new day. I'm looking at the Giants a little bit differently than I have in the past. And I didn't notice this until earlier, but I'm going to attribute some of that credit to a one Mr. Buster Posey, man, like coming in and kind of changing how we go about business over here in San Fran.
To my point earlier, that's a guy that cares about winning. That's a guy that's
100%.
won, cares about winning, doesn't care about money. I know maybe his role doesn't involve, you know, the bottom line as much as a guy like John Henry.
Yeah.
But that's a guy that cares about winning, is going to make the move. He's going to push the right buttons. He's going to talk to the right people to ensure that his team has a chance to do that. John Henry, not so much. Craig Breslow, I don't know what you're doing.
This is a massive trade. I mean, this is a big deal. This shakes up this clears up this clears up some headaches for me in the East, and it brings some headaches over to the West.
That was a thing, like, you know, kind of jokes aside with this, but like that was one of my favorite bits. Like, I just loved being able to stoke that fire every time Rafi Devers took the plate against stepped into the box against Garrett Cole.
It's not just Garrett Cole. It was a lot of Garrett Cole. But it's not just like he
for sure. But like that
dominated.
was just one thing I could like, regardless how bad the season was going, and it's been bad. It's been ugly the last 3-4 years.
Sure.
Regardless how that what was happening, I could at least count on that. But now
we could joke about that, but the truth is, like, on the other side of it, George Steinbrenner loved anybody that did well against the Red Sox. Like, if you struggled the rest of the year, but you helped beat the Red Sox and you did it with a note, like that went a long way. And so, like, that does hold weight. You know what I mean? That does hold weight. So I'm interested to see what don't get me wrong, he's got pop to go out anywhere, but like I'm interested to see how numbers change in San Francisco.
Down.
You know, definitely goes down, but like, you know, you slot him in. We were talking about on the stream again tonight because they were playing the Dodgers, but like you get into a 1 through 3 across the league and impressive lineups with like Jung-Hoo Lee, Willie Adamus, and Rafi Devers. Like that's a nice start to a game. And I got to imagine Giants fans are coming out of hibernation right now and feeling very excited.
No, I know we say no disrespect. Like let's show proper disrespect or proper respect. Giants fans, you have to think, have been relatively invested into this year. Like we said, I mean, they're having a quality start to the year. Now, maybe understandably so. Maybe they're still a little, upset with continued. Maybe it's residual from like the past few off seasons of missing out on the guys they really wanted. They've plugged some holes here and there for sure, but in like a Willie Adamus, for example. But even Willie Adamus is he had a slow start of the year. But to my point, you mentioned the 1, 2, 3. Maybe having Devers helps out a guy like Willie Adamus to have a little more pop in that lineup. Maybe a little bit of a situation where Adamus can feed off of that.
Yeah. It's gonna be nice over there, man.
Yeah, must be nice.
Where you want to go from here, pal?
I keep coming back to the money aspect of it because there's so many people, like people in the chat, and no disrespect, but I keep seeing people that are like, well, it's just clearing up money for Bregman. I've already said it twice. What about the way that they've run this team for the last, call it 7 years, makes you post World Series? What makes you think that they're gonna keep Bregman around? And even if they do pony up the money like they did for Devers, what makes you think they're gonna keep him around long term?
I don't know.
And again, the point that it
does happen, it's a weird transition to go from a young dude who has been in your organization and is the face of it to switch to an older, aging. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a weird mindset shift. Just strictly if he's a better yes man. You know what I mean? Like how does that happen? I don't know.
It's just going back to my point that, and we don't have to keep harping on this, but going back to my point about let me just say, I apologize if I'm coming on a little strong, like I said, but this is I'm sick of this. And then people say, oh, how bad could it be as a Red Sox fan? It's pretty bad. Like I don't have anybody to really, consider a favorite player now. Like I'm gonna have to wait till some of these young guys grow up. But even then, I'm like 10 years older than some of these guys coming up. So that's a little weird. So I don't really know where to go. But the point about, so again, I apologize for coming on a little strong. But what I was saying with the leverage thing with Bregman, you don't think Bregman and his camp are going to use this as leverage to go, you need me a whole lot more than I need you now.
Yeah.
That's only going to drive the price tag up for Boston. So,
which is weird because they're willing to say no to a certain extent to most guys so far, and then they randomly say yes. And I don't know. It's a very confusing. I'm confused. I'm very confused. I'm very, very, very confused on how they're operating.
I don't get it, man. I'm over it. We got like a couple other items here to cover, but do you have any other thoughts on? I mean, I don't know. Like, do people enjoy hearing this Devers commentary? Like, is that? I'm guessing that's what's taking over the airwaves starting tomorrow, Monday morning. Yeah. But I just don't know. I know we've talked about it for half an hour plus now, but I just feel like, generally speaking, I'm at a loss for words, like big picture here, because they do something stupid, and I say there's no way you can do something more stupid than that, and they do it anyway.
Is there anyone next? Do you see Duran? I know you kind of mentioned it earlier, but do you actually see Duran getting moved?
I mean, realistically, no. But could I see them doing it at this point? I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest.
All right.
I genuinely couldn't.
Who out of the rotation gets moved? Do both Hicks and Harrison get moved to the bullpen?
Dude, I don't care. I really don't. I really don't. Like Kyle Harrison and Jordan Hicks. I get it was a set, like you whatever, you're gonna chalk it up to getting money off the books, but come on. Connor Wong's as good as gone, so that'll close the book on the Mookie Betts trade officially. Yeah, in the chat, Wilyer Breu's as good as gone. I think they're waiting for him to turn things. Well, first to get healthy.
Also weird.
Yeah, for waiting on him to get healthy and then get him back to where he was to start the year, which was very hot, and then they'll ship him out. So dude, I don't know. Whatever, man. Red Sox, myself, other Red Sox fans have it bad, but do we have it as bad as Aaron Civale?
No one does.
We don't have to go too deep into this, but if you haven't caught it, and please in the chat, if you prefer us to just continue this Rafi Devers rant, we can loop back to it at the end. But just want to cover this Aaron Civale trade. Request to trade on what's today? The 13th. I think it was the 12th.
Today's the 15th.
No, sorry, I'm getting my days mixed up. He requested the trade on the 12th. Today's the 15th. Requested the trade on the 12th.
13th.
Traded to the White Sox the next day.
Yeah.
Classic case of be careful what you wish for.
Yeah.
Look, I hear the argument that like it's still a win for Civale because you're going to go over there, you're going to start again because he had been demoted. People are going, well, why would you request a trade? He'd been demoted to the bullpen. You request a trade. People are saying it's a win for him because again, you're gonna go over there, you're gonna start again. You're either
but at what cost?
That's my argument. People are like, well, he's gonna either pitch well, get money in free agency, or at the end of the day, he can still just be a starter and try again elsewhere. I don't know, whatever. But that's my point. The White Sox.
Do you think they called anyone else? Do you think the Brewers called anybody else, or where they were just like, yo, watch this? And they called the White Sox and were like, let's make this happen. You know what I mean?
Well, that's a good point. Shout out to the Brewers, for really protecting the integrity of the trade market in Major League Baseball, because when I saw that, I'm going, oh no, Aaron Civale is the snowflake that begins the avalanche in Major League Baseball, similar to that of the NBA, where I don't like my situation, so I want out. And when I saw that he requested the trade, I'm going, I sure hope that he ends up somewhere that he doesn't want to end up, because that'll hopefully at least put a temporary stop to that.
Yeah.
And sure enough, he ends up in Chicago.
You want to throw demands? We're going to send you to one of the worst franchises in sports.
The literal reigning worst team in Major League history. So congrats, buddy. Enjoy. Make sure
mad respect on the Brewers
sure to
side.
pack heat while you're out there, by the way.
That got me. Or you can sneak it in.
Yeah. If you have, no. We'll just leave it there. Yeah. Yep.
No, big time respect for the Brewers in that move.
Offloading toxic relationship Devers while clearing money in a season where nothing is happening for the Red Sox. What are we talking about? I thought
we started to move forward.
We did, but I said we'd be willing to revisit. And you know what? I'm willing to revisit. You're back now. You've won. You're 6.5 back in the East. You're 8-2 in your last 10. You won 5 in a row. You're a game over 500. Like, I get it. It's not pretty at the moment, but like to just write the season off as though nothing's happening. Like, yeah, maybe 2 weeks ago I would have been like, cancel the season, but to say that nothing's happening, that's ridiculous. I think.
Well, you said you're a game out of the wild card.
No, I think as of right now, Well, you're half a game out now. Oh, I don't know if this is updated completely. Maybe it is, but either way, you're like you're knocking on the door. Whatever. Aaron Civale, go have fun in Chicago. Whatever. Speaking of which, Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani. We got the news. Shout out to the chat, by the way. They broke the news for us because I'm not able to keep completely up to date. Shohei is set. Let me make sure I got it right here. Shohei Ohtani set to start for the Dodgers tomorrow night against the Padres. How about that? How about that?
Fitting? I think very fitting.
He said,
I don't know why it works.
Robert said they're throwing in the towel, bro. That's what this is. I agree with you. Yeah, sorry. Back to this real quick. No disrespect. Back to this Rafi Devers thing. They're throwing in towel. I agree with you. On that part, I agree with you. Yeah, by this move, I don't know what message you're sending now. So yeah, you might as well throw in the towel because you just got rid of one of the best hitters in baseball. To say that nothing was happening this year for the Red Sox, I disagree. I've had my ups and downs. I've been angry. I've been happy. 2 weeks ago, I would have said, yeah, cancel the season, like I said, but that's crazy. I agree with you though. They're throwing in the towel. So Shohei Ohtani,
the volatility.
Wait, what? Did the Yankees trade Jason Dominguez? What? Can we please move on to the Yankees and them trading Jason Dominguez? What?
No.
Okay, just want to make sure. I mean, seems to be a lot going on tonight, so I just want to make sure that didn't fly under the radar. So Shohei Ohtani, yeah, set to pitch against the Dodgers, and I think according to Laura in the chat, against Dylan Cease. Yeah, sorry, Laura, I'm all over the place.
You are. That's okay. You pumped?
You know what that tells me? That tells me that the Dodgers are a little more worried about their pitching situation than maybe they're letting on.
Maybe so.
Because I don't care how ready Shohei is. It's a good bit earlier than you had envisioned for the timeline. And if there's any guy that you're not going to rush back if you can afford it, it's Shohei Ohtani. But yet here we are.
Well,
they're panicking, dude, with their pitching situation. I'm not saying as a whole, but with their pitching situation, you don't do this if you can afford not to.
Yeah. Probably right. Probably right. Good news is Kershaw looked good the other day, right? You know? So maybe.
Sorry,
maybe we turn back the clock a little bit.
I'm reading now that Roki Sasaki no longer throwing.
He's been shut down, huh?
Shut down. I'm reading a tweet now. Dave Roberts said the Dodgers' mindset should be to you should prepare as though you won't get him back this season. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't feel bad. It sucks for Roki Sasaki. I mean, that was exciting. I was glad to see him, come over and like start to have success. Like that was cool. That's neat. I mean, I can't even keep the list of names straight at this point. Like I don't know what it is about Tyler Glass now. I have this like feeling that he's going to be back and he's going to be fine. And like, he's just managed this way, right? Like he's just always going to be kind of hurt. Let's just kind of bypass the regular season and give him a couple starts before the postseason starts. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of where I'm at. I don't know. I think they're going to be fine. Yamamoto's been kind of off and on, but for the most part, still pretty good this year. So like I don't know. I'm not that worried about it.
Expected to activate Emmett Sheehan this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dustin May didn't look great tonight, but he didn't look terrible. Like it.
Yeah, pretty erratic, but
They're gonna find innings. They're gonna be fine. Interested to see the length of what Shohei can go, and pay attention to the hitting. Does that go down at all? I know we've seen him do both in the past. Like, this isn't anything new, but it has been a while. So it'll be interesting. I don't know. That's where I'm at, guy. You all right? You gonna make it? Well, you're gonna have to sleep on it. You're gonna wake up. You're gonna be like, did that really occur? And it did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's really all I got. I could go on about this, but I don't know how much people want to hear me gripe about how much my team sucks.
I don't know how much I want to hear about it either.
You should be eating this up, if anything. I don't like. We got you and I. Look, I'm worried about you and I. We've been doing this show for too long. I think when it comes to the Red Sox Yankee stuff, we're like, hey man, you know what? Rivalry aside,
here's the thing.
I really feel for you. You should have been dancing on my grave tonight.
Here's why. Because I don't have a leg to stand on. One. And two, it's been 16 years for us, so it's not like I can.
Nate,
you know what I mean? I know what misery feels like because I've felt it for this long.
You gotta take your chances. I know it's been 16 years. I know you just got swept, but we just traded away the best hitter on our team and one of the best in baseball.
I like this question right here. I like this one. Luka Doncic being traded to the Lakers or Devers being traded to the Giants?
It's a valid question, actually.
It's a really good question.
Is there an answer? Like I'm not I'm not really a basketball guy at all, but I know that it was still a crazy deal.
I mean, I think the Luka one was worse because it was like it just
from the clouds. So was this one. It
was very much from the clouds, but there's also like conspiracy of like saving the league. In a way, like the MLB's fine. I don't think this, everyone's gonna wake up tomorrow and MLB is gonna be thriving still. So like, I don't think they're in shambles the way the NBA is.
That's fair.
But yeesh.
I still maintain that you should have been dancing on my grave.
A
sweep pales in comparison.
Here's why I think
10 years left on the contract.
Yeah. Here's why I think is that like we both found out during the stream and then it let it sit in.
Shots fired.
Josh in the chat says coughs. Nate, with all due respect, you don't know what misery is. Welcome here in my shoes, brother. Bridge to Bucktober podcast. That's a Pirates show. They know all about misery over there. But hey, you know what? Hey, I'm hearing from a reliable source that Skeens cannot wait to put pen to paper for 12, 14 years. So, the misery hopefully won't last much longer. We'll see. We'll see. Hey, you're
down bad.
Shots fired.
You're down bad, but you're never down as bad as Pirates fans. That's
I'm just letting it fire from the hip. I'm off the rails right now.
Oh, pal. I'm stoked that I don't have to see him hit in Yankee Stadium anymore because I got sick of it. So I'm glad to see him gone.
Actually, real quick on that, kind of, why not? Why not come back to the Devers trade? Where
Come back. Have we even left? There's been one foot on it the whole time.
Yo, I completely forgot. Guess who's going to San Francisco Friday, June 20th, the 21st, and the 22nd?
Really?
The team that just shopped you out of town.
When?
This coming weekend.
Oh, boy, we're going to have to buckle up for that.
What a
I
joke.
pretty much never put a Red Sox game on when I'm watching games on one of the TVs. This might have to happen.
Please do. Please do. I hope. And look, I'm always of the belief that no player is above the jersey, as it were, maybe outside of like David Ortiz. If they would have mishandled that, which they kind of did at points, but if they would have shipped him out of town, I'm following Ortiz wherever he's going. Put me on your back, Big Poppy. I'm going where you're going. But with this situation, I don't think Devers is bigger than the jersey. So it's not like I'm disowning the Red Sox to pull for Devers exclusively. But I hope he puts up 3 or 4 tanks this weekend. I really hope just to put salt in the wound.
And it's in San Fran.
Yes,
that's even better. All right, let's. I want you to rank these as far as the most painful. Let's go Mookie trade, Bogaerts trade, Devers trade, Babe Ruth trade.
What are we doing? Well,
I'm gonna put one as the worst trade.
I'm just going personal. If I got to rank the Babe trade, I'm putting that at the bottom because without the Babe trade, we don't have 04. And really, we don't have what you and I have had for our entire lives. And I get the World Series and all that.
You wouldn't want to undo it.
I get all that, but like the 27 rings, whatever. Yeah. But like some of the sweetest moments I've had as a baseball fan stemmed because of that trade back in 1918. So you know what? Right. Sounds crazy as the most, I'm sure, but I'll take that trade.
You got that at 5. Okay.
So I'll go 5 there. Wait, I thought there was 4. It was the three stars.
4. And
then Babe.
You put that at 4.
So Babe at 4.
Unless there's another.
I'm going Xander at 1. This is just personal for me. Like that was my guy, and you spit in his face.
So that's the worst one. That's worse than Mookie, huh?
No, this is personal. This is like it's not I'm not like writing a scholarly report.
Yeah.
If I were, it'd be Mookie just because of the return. Well, Babe was traded to to finance a play or something. Whatever, man. Red Sox suck, dude. I hate this team. I hate this team so much. But if I'm making a personal list, I'm going personal. I'm going Xander first. I felt like he didn't want to be here. There's been conflicting reports. I thought he was gone anyway, but I've still got to put Mookie at 2. Devers 3. Like they all suck. That's the takeaway here. It's hard to rank them because they all suck, but
yeah,
whatever, man. The real takeaway is this team just sucks. Like we don't know what we're doing. Ship without a sail.
Oh, I could add a 5th one in. How about the Yoan Moncada signing? Just be like, he's the future. He's
I'm never gonna fault the team for making an addition like that. You just never know. But
we all just miss so much.
It's crazy. No, that's not true though. We don't always miss. We get guys like Mookie Betts, Rafael Devers. Those are pretty big wins, and they were like, yeah, we'd rather not. Anyway, I've rambled enough. I'm sure the people are sick of hearing me ramble.
Yeah.
I know you're sick of hearing me ramble.
I am. I'm a big fan of your pain.
As you should be. Yeah, we got to get back to this nicey nice stuff.
Well, coming off
like
a
it.
sweep, I don't feel great about. So, like, I'm not feeling
The fact that this
super
happened
great.
and you're still thinking about the sweep is crazy to me. Like you could have.
Look, you're the Red Sox are sheep. The Yankees are the lion. We don't concern ourselves.
Oh,
So-
here we go. Here we go.
This-
Okay.
Like that to me is like you weren't really a threat. I'm more upset with the fact that we had a bad weekend. It's not about
Yeah,
what the
we
Red
just
Sox
lost.
did
We
to
just
us.
lost the face of the franchise for the next 10 years. But you guys lost a few games.
We had a rough
Yeah.
weekend.
Rough weekend. Tough weekend at the ball yard. Whatever. I'm done. We got anything else? We got anything else to cover?
I don't know. It's
Late. We've been talking baseball for like 4 hours. Like, this has been nice.
we have.
Shout it out. Shout out the folks that have joined us, both for the keeping book stream that we did, which again that was great, and then this. Shout out to you guys.
I might go try to find a lobster roll somewhere tomorrow.
Okay, whatever. No, I'm not buying this manufactured. No, I need some real legitimate, genuine hate. Man, this manufactured lobster. You're not going to buy a lobster roll
I think
tomorrow.
I'm just
Get out of here.
tired. That's probably what it is. Yeah, I'm in Arizona. What do you
You're not finding a lobster roll.
questionable?
Anyway, all right, that'll do it. Shout out to Nate for riding this out.
You had to vent, pal. I knew you did.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. I did have a statement regarding the credit cannon. Big news.
Pushed.
It's been pushed to
Been delayed.
Wednesday. We should.
I'd like
be
for you
back.
to dress a little better for that announcement.
I'll try.
All right.
I'll try. So I'll make that announcement on Wednesday. Or I'll make that statement. It's not an announcement really. It's a statement. But we'll see you guys Wednesday. You got
It's
anything
an
else?
official statement. Yeah. No. I'm all out of words.
Love it.
Yeah. Don't go chasing curveballs.
Love you all. As always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.